So, 2016 has started off really well for me. I've got some amazing opportunities, some super cool interviews I've done, and I noticed that one question constantly pops up, and it's not a new question. It's something that I always get asked. What's my favorite country to visit? And for somebody who's been to 87 countries, that's a very difficult question to answer. Hell, somebody who's been to 20 countries, that's probably a difficult question to answer. So I usually try to kind of skirt the answer a little bit, or I will give a top 5. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a top 5 countries that I love so far. Granted, I'm a long way from my goal, but top 5 is going to be the best that I can pull off. So this list is in no particular order, just my top 5. So I'm going to start with the very first one is going to be Thailand. Now, anybody who's followed me over the years knows I love Thailand. I essentially live here part of the year. I'm here right now, obviously, and it's a country that I recommend everybody visit. And it's used, most people believe that it's because it's such an inexpensive place, but it goes so far beyond that. The people, the food, the history, the culture, and of course the cost. Thailand is a phenomenal tourism country because it has a little bit for everybody. If you're a big city person like me, you have Bangkok. If you're a small city person, you have Chiang Mai, which is in the north, more of a natural setting. If you're a beach person, Thailand easily has some of the world's best beaches. And the food, absolutely amazing, from fried chicken to grilled fish to prawns fresh off out of the water to mango to som tam, which is a green papaya salad, kind of sour and spicy at the same time. Any cuisine that you want, you can get a variation of it here in Thailand. And in Bangkok has some of the world's best restaurants. So Thailand is definitely on that top list. So my next pick is a victim of negative PR. From the very first time I set foot in Romania, I fell in love with this country. It should be on everybody's must-visit list, everybody's bucket list, wherever you want to call it. From the beautiful landscapes in Transylvania to the amazing wines in the north in Piatra, Neamț, coming from Moldova. It is an amazing place to visit. Great people, inexpensive, and a history that's been untouched. The real cool thing about Romania is it's still very Romanian. Now, Bucharest isn't my favorite city. Anybody who says Bucharest is an amazing city, they're lying. They're biased. They don't know what they're talking about. But if you go to Sibiu, Sighișoara, Alba, Iulia, you go to Sinaia, you go to Piatra, Neamț, you go over to the coast. Romania has a little bit of something for everybody, but it's maintained its culture. It's maintained its identity as a Romanian country, and it's very evident. But be careful. If somebody offers you palinka, it might be a really long night. So the visit to the next country was actually kind of an accident. I wasn't supposed to go. I had other press obligations, but those fell through. I ended up being invited by the South African Board of Tourism, and I went to South Africa for 13 days on an amazing press trip, one of the best ones of my career, and I fell in love with the country. Amazing people, stunning landscapes, delicious food, just absolutely amazing. Now, granted, they still do have their problems. I went to the Moody markets in Durban. I learned about the xenophobia between the Zulus and the African immigrants. The idea of black on black or tribe on tribe violence, it just boggled my mind, and it reminded me how much I still need to learn about the world while traveling as an African American to African countries is so important when we're trying to figure out what our identity is on a global scale. So South Africa really is easily in my top 5 countries, and I'm really excited to go back this year. So some people might think this next one is cheating, but the United States, I mean, in my opinion, and I think most people wouldn't argue this point, the United States is the world's best travel destination. As a singular country, nobody even comes close to having the variety of landscapes, cities, cuisines, culture, history. We have surfing, we have skiing, we have rock climbing, we have beautiful beaches, we have mega cities. Everything that you want is in the United States. However, I'll take a step back. I grew up in Cleveland, and I live in Texas, so I say I'm from Texas. My entire adult life has been in Texas. But my favorite cities are actually Chicago and Las Vegas. Las Vegas for obvious reasons, and Chicago because I think Chicago is the last great American city. People say it's Dallas or Houston, New York City, San Francisco. Absolutely not. Chicago represents everything that's great about the United States: the integration, the technology, the architecture, the history, the immigrant population. It's a phenomenal place to visit. So if you have one place to visit in the U.S. and you've never been, or if you grew up like me in Cleveland, that close, and never going to Chicago, hop a plane, take a bus, go to Chicago and check it out for yourself. And last, definitely not least, remember this isn't a ranking system, Colombia. Now, Colombia is a victim of 1980s, 1990s public relations disaster. And of course, Pablo Escobar and the cartels in Colombia were a big problem during the time. But today, absolutely not. Colombia is probably one of the safest countries in South America / Central America, and I would have absolutely no problem with sending anybody who I love or care about to this place. Colombia is absolutely amazing, from Bogota to Medellin to Cartagena to Cali. The beaches are one of the most underrated things about Colombia. If you're looking for a place to party and have people really embrace you as a friend, then Colombia is definitely a place to go. So that's my list so far. Now granted, I've only been to 87 countries so far, and I'm actually going to be going to Taiwan, Australia, New Zealand, and Sri Lanka within the next 45 days. So this list is always changing, and I think that's important. I think it's important to always evaluate your favorites, your favorite food, your favorite people, your favorite destinations, your favorite hobbies, so you can not only grow as a person, but experience things outside of your norm. I am fully 100% open to the idea that this list is totally different by next year, and I actually hope so. So in the meantime, definitely check out Thailand, Romania, South Africa, the United States, and Colombia if you can. If you guys have any questions specifically about any destination, comment below, share my videos, and I hope you guys subscribe.